Good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
Hey, Nancy, you're better for me than you. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share some information with you this morning. Maybe challenge your assumptions a little bit. Maybe punctuate what all you speakers have already said. Because they basically have laid the issue out. You know, in your mission lays it out. One vision, one voice. You have much to celebrate in Madison County. But I have to warn you, if you have never heard me speak before, I am never politically correct. I say whatever on my mind, and some days that gets me in trouble. So just be glad in about 40 minutes you never have to hear me again, okay? And here's my message to you. Stop comparing yourself in Madison County to the state of Mississippi. Start comparing yourself to the nation's and the world's best schools and communities, because that's what your community expects from you. I'm going to try to have you look around the corner. I'm going to have you look around the corner about what is it your kids are going to have to do in the future, what are your businesses going to have to do to compete in an increasingly technological world pushed by global competition. As I do that, I want to state something your state superintendent said clearly this morning, and that is number one, Mike Kent, to you and your colleagues, great job, thanks for what you're doing in this county. Number two, our schools are getting better. Not simply in Madison County, but across the country. I've been in every state in this country. I've been in 29 other nations around the globe. And as I look at American education, I see it this way. It is getting better. How many in the room are aware of this? We graduated a higher percentage of 18-year-olds last year than any year in our nation's history. Despite the fact that those kids had more standards to take and more tests to take than a decade ago God thought could be created. We did it despite the fact that as a nation we're becoming more diversified. With diversity, a strength to a nation, but in the short term, ask any educator, a challenge to schools. More complex group of kids, more requirements, we're graduating more. We're getting better. Our schools are not failing. And what worries me is you're celebrating that line. And you should. But here's the reality. The world outside of school is that line. The world outside of school is changing 4 to 5 times faster than the rate of change inside of school. And what we have is every year the kids are better educated, but simultaneously, forgive me, worse off. We have a skill gap. And the gap is the difference between where they're leaving our schools and where they need to be successful in the 21st century. I had the privilege of heading up a national study that is a 5-year-long study. I'm President CEO of a group called the International Center for Leadership and Education. That group, together with another group called the Council of Chief State School Officers, I know your governor and others know that group well. Tom belongs to that group. Every state in America has a state superintendent or a state commissioner. The 50 are called the Council of Chief State School Officers. That group and my group were approached by the National Governors Association and a series of corporate leaders across the country. And we were asked to go out across America and try to find the schools that did not look like this, but the schools that looked like this, and the schools that looked like this. The schools that actually hadn't only closed the skill gap, but were exceeding it. And we have selected the 25 most rapidly improving, and the key words here is rapidly improving, elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools in the nation. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation gave us substantial research funds to go in and analyze those schools and those communities to say, what are they doing differently than the rest of us? And that's what I'm going to share with you. What do you